I haven't really put out a video since my trip to Africa, and I don't really have time to make a whole video right now, but there's something that's been churning on my mind. I went to a class last week about violent kids, and I want to share with you some of the things I learned. I went to a training the other day on all the rules and techniques for when you have to put your hands on a kid. If they're loose, they've lost control, they're being violent, what is it you should do and how do you handle that? It's something we do rarely, and when we do, it's not fun, but it is good because it's what they need. The class talked a lot about kids with disabilities, but what I really found is that the principles are really always the same. When you're power struggling with a kid, it's always a sign of your own weakness. That you're engaging in the argument, you're engaging in the debate, even the physical power struggle. You're struggling because you're not really certain that you have the power. There's a way, there's a technique even, to handle a kid who's lost control. One, without losing control of yourself, but two, without really even engaging in the fight. What you're really doing is creating a safe place for them to work through and realize that you're not going to give in. And that's the best thing you can do. So one of the cool things they taught us was that kids go through a cycle, an emotional roller coaster, so to speak, and it's predictable. So it starts with some anxiety, and it heads toward being defensive and protecting, wanting to control your world, and that control sends you into outbursts, an emotional release that's sometimes violent. And then once you get through that, there's actually a downhill side that's exhausting. And it's a time as an adult when you can go in and what do they call it? They call it therapeutic support. But it's basically you come in and you show them that you're still here. You still care about them. You're still building that trust and connection. And yes, they went through that and now they're done with it. And eventually they're going to learn, with your help, how to control themselves. So they have this little saying, it's called Q-tip. Quit taking it personal. When your kids misbehave, when they struggle for power, quit taking it personal. It's not about you, it's about them. I used to take personally as a teacher was when kids would say it's not fair, because I always wanted to be the fair one, you know, the teacher who's fair. If you say it's not fair to who, like it's not fair to you compared to someone else, like who's getting this that you're not getting, or vice versa, that would make it not fair. And that usually just shuts them down because they didn't really mean it's not fair. They just mean I hate it. But it is the beginning of something. It's the beginning of this process of blaming others. It's their fault, it's your fault, maybe it's society's fault. They're trying to shift the blame away from themselves and on to someone else, because otherwise that shame feels terrible. But here's where the powerful thing you can do comes in. What you can do is get them to the place that they see that it is their fault. That's really important. I want to say that because when it's their fault, they can fix it. If it's your fault, if it's someone else's fault, if it's society's fault, then all you are is a helpless victim. And you don't ever want that victim mentality to seep into your kids, because it's a guaranteed way to perpetuate failure, a cycle of failure. It's bad news. My name is Luke. This is Parent Academy, and I hope it helps.